Hello, fellow fumblers, and welcome to another episode of the Film Fumblers podcast, the show where four friends, and sometimes three, fumble through your favorite films. Today, we are reviewing Queen and Slim, movie released in 2019 and directed by Melina Matsoukas. So without further ado, my name's Adrian.
I'm Taryn.
And I'm James.
Welcome back, James.
All right.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Hey there.
And this time we have Jay missing, so we'll be all four united next week, hopefully.
He's at his mom's wedding. I know she listens sometimes, so congrats if you listen.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Let's cheers to that.
Oh, there you go. Cheers.
All right. Oh boy.
Ew.
Cheers. Ew.
I think rum is getting a little easier for me to shoot. A little bit, not a lot.
Dark rum, light rum. What kind of rum we talking?
Bacardi.
Also Bacardi. Bacardi B.
Yeah, I've had a handle forever. Bacardi, wow.
That's really what her name was supposed to be, but
Are you
she
serious?
can't get sued by Bacardi, so she just changed it to Cardi B.
Through the B to the end or what?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dude, that just blew my whole mind. That's like the fact of this whole episode.
There we go.
That's so.
All right, so Queen and Slim. Let's jump right into this. I remember watching the trailer to this movie. I don't know where I saw it, if I saw it like in theaters or what, but I remember watching, I was like, oh shoot, that looks like a really cool movie. I'm gonna have to watch it. And then I completely forgot about it until last week when we were looking for movies to do during Black History Month. And I was like, fuck yeah, guys. I wanted to watch this movie. It looks really cool. So just the premise of it seemed cool. This is your guys' first time too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you guys think? Opening thoughts. I know James, you just watched it today, so still a little fresh, but
A little fresh. Opening thoughts. Well, I was kind of I was struggling a little bit. It took me like 20 minutes to watch the first. No, it took me 40 minutes to watch the first 20 minutes of the movie, and the movie's already fucking 2 hours and like 12 minutes. So, because I don't know, internet problems maybe in Albuquerque today.
yeah.
A little stormy, so I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but I was a little flustered with it. So it might have made me
Negatively affected you.
Yeah, had a bad mood from the beginning, so yeah.
Oh no.
Did it stay?
What about you,
Did it
Taryn?
stay low, James?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Damn. Did you end up watching Moonlight, James?
I didn't. I
Didn't?
haven't had
Okay.
time, but
Because there was a couple of similarities in Moonlight that I kind of picked up, just like really small ones. But so Taryn, your opening thoughts, first time watching. When did you watch? Did you watch a couple days ago, or?
Yeah, like Thursday or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought it was pretty fun. It wasn't like the best movie ever or anything, but I thought it was a good time. You know, the pacing made it so I was engaged like the whole time. It was fine. It's good.
Yeah.
watch.
The pacing, yeah, things happened like really quick, which I really liked. So it threw you right into the action, and it kind of, I feel like it kept that pace throughout the film for the most part. I mean, maybe there was a couple of parts towards the middle that dragged out a bit, but
Yeah, a little breather here and there.
yeah, a little breather.
yeah, I was. I feel kind of not the same. I felt like it was a little too long, but granted, I was fucking trying to watch the damn movie
20 minutes
with all
longer
this
than
shit
it
going on.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If it took you 40 minutes for the first 20, then
yeah.
yeah,
So
no,
it's
I feel that though.
It did
Yeah.
feel long though. I think. I agree.
Yeah.
Kind of did. It kind
I
of
was-
yeah.
Like halfway through, I was
Yeah.
like, "There's how much more? Like, dude, they did so much stuff already. Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I checked at the hour and 20 mark, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Still got
Another hour.
40 minutes. So I was like, "Oh yeah, I
Wow.
guess another hour." I was like, "Jesus Christ!"
So this is Melina Matsoukas' debut in film. She's only made what, music videos, right?
Yeah.
Music
Commercial,
videos.
I think.
Yeah. So, which was like interesting that I don't know. I think it was good, but she didn't write it. The writer is. Oh, I had it up.
Lena Waithe.
Yeah. Yes. Lena Waithe.
So
Go ahead.
is it kind of like Moonlight in that there was an idea and then someone kind of took it and co-wrote it into a different thing? Is that what am I remembering that right from what I was
Oh
reading?
my gosh, I can't really remember with. Well, Moonlight was they wrote it kind of together, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this one was like that or if it was kind of just
Okay, yeah. Scripted
like the
by
whole.
Lena Waithe from an original idea by James Frey, which is like they're both credited as the writers. So
Oh, okay, okay,
cool. Yeah.
interesting. Um, yeah, some of the, I think that was one of the things that I felt like was maybe a little bad for me was some scenes and some writing in some of the scenes felt pointless. Specifically, like the scene where they're at the gas station and he's gonna rob the gas station just for like
Oh
40
my
bucks in
god,
gas.
I forgot
Yeah.
about
And
Yeah.
like the gas station clerk is just like, "Oh, is that a Glock? Like, can I hold it?" And he's like, "I'm robbing you." Like, no. And then he literally lets him hold. He's like, "Oh, I'll put the gas if you let me hold it." And then he gives him the gun. They have this awkward stare down where the clerk has the gun pointed at Slim, and you're just like, "What?" And then he's just like,
Yeah.
"Just kidding. Here's the gas. Bye." And then it never like revisits that, and he just like, "Why did you what?"
Yeah. Kind
Some of,
of
some of the writing was like
weird.
some of the scenes were pretty bad and pretty
Dude,
stupid.
that scene. I don't know why, but because it was just so still, them staring at each other. There was like flies. And I was like,
Yes,
is he
I
gonna
know,
shoot the
dude.
fly? Like, is he gonna be like the super sick sharpshooter dude or something?
it's like Wanted. He shoots the
Yeah.
wings off the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Thankfully, I didn't get
it
that
was
one.
weird. I don't know. I think they were trying to like play on the tenseness of just the situation, and they were like, "Oh fuck." You kind of think, "Oh fuck," a million times
Yeah.
that like they're gonna get busted, and then everyone's pretty kind-hearted. Like
Yeah,
generally, like
for the most part.
yeah,
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like one of those movies where everything that could go wrong is gonna go wrong. Where like
yeah,
they run out of their okay, so if you haven't watched the movie, basically a first date goes wrong. This black couple gets pulled over by a white police officer. White police officer being a dick. A scuffle happens. Slim kills the police officer, and then they're on the run, basically.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, like they run out of gas, and they get picked up by none other than a sheriff. Was just like, are you fucking kidding me? This is the dumbest sheriff I've ever seen in my life. Where he's just like she's bleeding from her leg, clearly had been shot. And he's like, "You all right there, miss?" And she's like, "I'm fine." She's like, "Anyway, get in my truck." It's just
Yeah.
like, come on, how clueless are these sheriffs? But um, I don't want to say too much bad. I did really enjoy the movie, and I think I liked it more than you guys did, just from the general vibe. So I guess I'll just jump right into why I think it's so interesting. Is for me, there was a lot of parallels with this and the Underground Railroad. So like, I don't know if you guys made that connection or saw that anywhere, but it's just like after I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, like there's just a lot of like all of the people that are helping them seemed like they would be people in who would work in the Underground Railroad, where you have a black couple who are trying to flee where they were, and ironically, they're trying to flee south to go to Cuba, and they start in Ohio. And fun fact, I was reading up on the Underground Railroad, and over or like around half of the people who worked in the Underground Railroad are from Ohio. And so like that's where this movie starts. And then they go instead of northward, they go southward to try to get to
Yeah.
Cuba. And I was like, this is a really cool. I feel like it has to be intentional that they wrote it that way. Like it just has to be, right?
Yeah.
But
Convincing me.
I was just like, that's really cool. And not to jump too far ahead, but the ending, I think it was like one of the better endings that I've seen in a long time. Like to be perfectly honest,
Really?
it ended really fucking well, I think, and I think James is gonna think so too because he loves unhappy.
Yeah, I knew you guys were gonna say. Spoiler alert: everyone dies, so of course I'm gonna like it. I don't know. I wasn't totally expecting it, but I don't know. Yeah, it happened kind of weirdly,
Yeah,
kind of quickly, and I was just like, huh. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
taking as long as it did to get there, it's just like, all right, that's it.
Yeah, it really did. It
Yeah.
kind of. There was a lot of things that were dragged out, and then there was a lot of things that did kind of feel like happened. I don't know. Maybe it's a first-time director thing, or
I think it just could have gone through a rewrite generally. Like,
Mm.
I don't know. It felt like you guys are gonna hate me for this. It felt like Once Upon a Time in
Oh.
Hollywood.
Oh,
Like
I
it
was
was
running
fucking.
scared. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
me too.
It was fucking like driving simulator. Like
They're
it
on
was
the
just
run, my
so.
man. Like,
I know, but like, fuck, it was like
Yeah.
40 minutes worth of like driving montages and showing stuff. Like that stuff's cool. Just do it shorter and
It's like
quicker.
5 different fucking cars. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah,
and
and
all
it's
the cars
like,
get completely fucked. It's crazy.
Yeah.
and like some of the random little things, like I don't know, they were good to like build the relationship between Queen and Slim,
Yeah.
like the horse scene and them going dancing and stuff like that. But it was just like too long for me. Like I just felt like it was too
Yeah.
long. Too long.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Dude, the dance scene though, I think like hands down that was probably my favorite scene in the movie. Where they go into that like club or whatever.
Yeah.
Because first of all, it's just like you guys are on the run. You guys are trying to flee the country. You're on a national watch list. Like everyone's
Yeah.
looking for you and you're just like, let's go dancing.
Yeah.
And they do it, but we find out that like everyone in that fucking club knows them and are just like cool with it. They're just like,
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
why don't they
This
just stay
interesting-
here? I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just this interesting like relationship that you see like society is kind of torn, right? There's like these people, they killed a cop, they need to be tried, and then the other people are like, fuck that cop, like he deserved it. He killed somebody. What did they mention in the movie? He killed like
He killed
somebody who was
another
dropping off.
unarmed black man too.
Yeah,
Like
who
in
was
some
like driving his
routine or
daughter to
thing. Oh no,
school or
yeah,
something.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, and so everyone's just like, that cop he's just a violent person, and like it was self-defense, and it.
Yeah, that's what's crazy is there's straight evidence. Like the video itself, like it seems like from what they showed is like obvious, like what happened. You know what I mean? So I wonder if they were just like caught and stayed there, like how it would have gone. I guess that's what I was wondering.
There's 100% they would both be in prison, like 100%. I feel like
Yeah.
maybe
think that's-
maybe
that's
Queen could get
Clear
off.
evidence? I don't know, man. I mean,
But
I
okay.
don't know how the fucking system works.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, not for black people for sure. Like that was
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
point of it.
Yeah.
Was that they were just like, we are black. Like there's no way we're getting out of this.
That's true.
There's
Yeah.
no fucking way.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
It's interesting to point out like Queen is a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
And like in one of the first things she says is like I had a shitty day because her client is getting the death penalty,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, "Oh, they still have that here?" And they're like, "Yeah." But it kind of bothered me because since she said she was an excellent lawyer, like wouldn't she know that the more fucking shit that she does is going to be worse for her in the end? Like that's what's
What do
kind of
you mean,
weird
like-
about it.
Like if she
them
did
running
get
away
caught.
from the scene. Yeah,
Oh,
like if they
yeah.
eventually got caught.
Well,
Like that's
she-
what was like
I
kind of
think
weird.
in her head, like they had that conversation. In her head, it was either we go to prison for the rest of our lives, or we are on the run for the rest of our lives. And they chose the latter. Like they were like,
Yeah,
either way, we're completely fucked.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what's interesting. I kind of took it because she was a lawyer. It's like maybe she just knew like, oh, we're fucked. Like if she knew
Yeah.
that, then it's like, oh yeah, for sure.
oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
I guess. Yeah, since she's like, well, she'd rather die in her own hands rather than in the government's hands. Makes sense.
And just be put in the system and,
Yeah.
just live through that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's. But yeah, I try to think like if that happened in real life, how would that like court case go through? And it's just like, yeah, they would be in prison. Like I don't think there's any getting out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Queen because she didn't directly like assault the officer or anything. I feel like Queen would maybe be okay, which is interesting that she put everything on the line for Slim. But
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking too realistically on that, but she didn't do anything. She was like, she didn't physically do anything to the police officer. She was just shot, and then Slim killed the police officer.
Yeah.
But I think the subtext is that, like you said, since they are black, that's like the first thing that would go through their mind. We have to run, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting. So when they run out of gas and they're waving down that truck, has the sheriff in it, Slim says something pretty interesting. He says, "I hope they're black," and Queen says that's not always a good thing. And it was interesting because that completely foreshadows the end of the movie, where the guy who is like quote unquote helping them, he was the one to turn them in, because he's there, counting all the cash, and it's like this crazy kind of thing they throw at the end. But I think they do it well in the movie, where every time, they're on the run the whole movie, so every time they run into a new character, I feel like as the audience, you're like, God, I hope they're black. Like, I hope the character's like the mechanic, and the mechanic was black. You're like, thank God. Like, the guy they hit at that restaurant, which was like probably the best character. Him,
Shit was funny.
Him and Uncle, what's his name?
Shit.
Uncle Earl.
Yes.
Uncle Earl.
Him and Uncle Earl were like
hilarious.
Hilarious characters. But yeah, every time you see a new black character, you're like, oh, thank God. Like, there's a sense of relief, and it's just like, holy shit! Like
when the cop,
I don't know, they're doing a pretty good job.
That cop that goes to check on the like crying that he hears or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. It's this cop.
The black cop is gonna go help them. Yeah, there's always
all that
tension.
trouble just to get killed, though. They could have just gave up there and just.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
But then, yeah, I mean, it would have been the same result, really. But that scene was kind of silly, like the writing at the end of that, where he goes, sees them in the garage, because they're just like, they start the car, the garage is closed. Like, how are we gonna get out? And it's like, yeah, somebody's gonna have to open this fucking garage. Like, and
they're just in there.
The black cop opens it, and then he just lets them by. And then he goes by and talks to the white officer, and he's just like, just a couple of deer stuck in a net, but I let him free or something. And I'm just like, you just did
I loved that.
Thing. That was like that writing was so bad. I thought.
I loved it.
The cop was just
that whole scene was stupid. It was like
kind of silly.
It's like, let's jump out this window, and then she fucking breaks her arm or
dislocates her shoulder. Yeah,
and like they didn't hear that, but they heard her go inside this garage that was like, detached way further away from where they jumped.
Yeah,
like
that's
what it was like.
Right before they jumped, I could have sworn I thought Flea was gonna open the door. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, what? Just go out the front door or something.
Oh yeah, Flea makes an appearance.
Yeah,
Fumblers almost, because he was in Baby Driver.
Oh fuck, he was. Yeah,
he's in Baby Driver, isn't he? In Back to the Future too.
Is he
in the first one? Oh,
maybe.
That sounds familiar, actually.
I didn't know that.
So I think so. Maybe I don't know.
He's been an actor for that long.
Fact checkers.
I'm looking.
I'm
really sad.
So that scene when they go to Flea's house, like, how did they know? He said that there's a bunch of hiding places in the house.
Right.
And of course, the thing that I would want him to show, or the movie to show me, is them knowing that
that there was a hatch thing.
That there's like a baseboards, or they could go under the wood, and they don't show it. I guess just for suspense when they flip up the.
Yeah, it was a suspense thing, but he like heavily alluded to it. He's like, there are hiding spots all around the house. You guys are safe here. He tells them that. Yeah. And then once the police show up, or the FBI shows up, he says, go into my room and go under the bed. So like, he had just told them that there were like really good hiding spots, and then he's going under the bed. So it's kind of just like, probably some shit under there, which again was like hardcore Underground Railroad vibes for me, where it was just like these hidden places in people's homes, right? And
real quick, he was in Back to the Future 2 and 3, apparently.
Not the first one, though?
No.
Not the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to get into the acting performance a little bit. Okay, I've never never know if I'm saying his name right. Daniel Kaluuya?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Kaluuya.
Kaluuya. Dude, I fucking love him. This is only the second movie that I've seen him in. I've seen him in Get Out and this.
Black Panther.
And then
bro.
isn't there what's that other movie coming out? Was it the Sundance one?
Yeah,
That
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
dude, so excited for that. Like,
Yeah, dude, I was gonna watch it yesterday and I forgot. Fuck. Came out yesterday on HBO. But he's in Black Panther too.
is he?
Yeah, he's like
Oh yeah, he is.
the friend that kind of turns on him a little bit.
Oh shit, I don't really remember that. It's been
Yeah.
I saw that movie in theaters. I don't remember it that well, but okay, so I guess this is the third movie then.
Second movie that getting pulled over, pretty bad.
Yeah, I know. And like he's always in both films, he's always so chill, and like it's the girlfriend who's just like,
Yep.
oh man, that's so funny.
Yeah, he was amazing, dude. Loved it.
Yeah, I think he's always like he's just fucking great. He's really really great. So Queen, Jodie Turner-Smith. I don't know that I've seen her in other things. I don't know. I didn't do too much.
I think
research.
she was really in other things.
Yeah.
From what I remember looking up, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I mean-
not much at all.
Yeah, I think her performance was fine. Like it wasn't. I don't think it like really stood out for me, but you know, it was like.
I feel like she did good in the scenes where it was just her and Daniel Kaluuya just talking to each other and like bantering and shit. I thought those
Yeah.
scenes were really good. Like they felt really natural.
Mhm.
You know, the conversation.
Conversations are kind of random, kind of witty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
giving each other shit.
Yeah, and like there's just a lot of like weird random shit that they threw in, like Uncle Earl, and how he just has all these hoes at his house, and he's just like
Yeah.
pimping all the time. Like it's just well, not literally pimping, like sending them off, but you know, he's just kind of this player guy, which that whole relationship was kind of interesting, and one of those things where like, do we really need like 4 girls in here just being crazy? I don't know.
Was it actually implied he was a pimp? Because remember the cop came to their house too, and he's
Oh
like,
right.
and one of his girls was like dating him at some point,
Mm-hmm.
and then he was like, "Oh no, this is my highest earner" or something like that.
Yeah, I remember something
Oh,
like that.
did he say? He did say that.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay.
So I think
think
he
literally
actually was a pimp,
pimp.
but
Okay.
why wouldn't they like stop him? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, why wouldn't they stop him? I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of weird. And just like how loyal they were to him, and they were like, out there he ain't shit, but in here he's a king. It's
Yeah.
like such a
Yeah.
weird ass like. But I guess it kind of builds up Queen's character because I don't think they even say that they're Queen and Slim throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, they
right?
do.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't say Queen. or-
never.
I was trying to
Yeah.
like think about it. I was like, why? Like, did they reference anything? The only thing I could think of was when he's asking her. I don't even remember the names of the music artists, but it's like, do you like Slim something or Fat something better? And he's like, I
Oh,
don't trust
Luther
people.
Vandross.
Yeah, he's like, I don't trust people that like Slim whatever more. And I was like, is
Uh-huh.
that supposed to be? I don't know. That was like the only time they said that
Oh,
word, so I was like,
yeah.
maybe.
Interesting.
But they don't say
Yeah.
Queen, so I don't know. Probably
Yeah.
just an afterthought kind of title
I
thing.
don't know.
Hmm.
But she's talking to one of the girls, and then that's when she says like, "Oh, we treat him like a king here," and then it kind of like builds up her character where like she doesn't really have a family, and then you find out that her uncle killed her mother.
Mother, and that was her first case. Like she took on that court case, and she got her
Yeah.
uncle off for
yeah.
killing her.
Dude, yeah, they just dropped that tidbit, like, and then
Was
don't
that her
explain
first
it.
case?
Yeah,
That was her first case. She picked that up. Yeah.
So that's like totally not real. You couldn't do that. That'd be like a conflict of interest for sure. But
Well, does that? I don't think that affects for like attorneys. Does it? I don't know. I'm not.
I feel
I mean, they're
Well,
trying to
you
get
know
him
more
off.
about
because
this than
They're
us,
trying to
yeah.
get him off either way, right? I don't know if it mattered.
yeah, well, she must be like public attorney or something like that. I don't know.
Hmm.
I just feel like that wouldn't be real, but
Dude, yeah, I don't know. The way they dropped that, he did that and then just don't explain it for like 30, 40 minutes, I'm like, holy fuck. Like, that was, I don't know. I kept thinking
Did
about
they
it. I was
ever
like,
explain
damn.
it?
They
Yeah,
did, yeah.
yeah.
So they basically, when their grandfather died or grandmother died, whatever it was, one of them wanted to keep the house. Like her mom wanted to keep the house, or excuse me,
Uh-huh.
to sell the house, and he wanted to live in the house. Uncle Earl wanted to live in the house. So they
Yeah.
got into a fight, and he like shoved her or something, and she fell down the stairs and like
Oh shit!
cracked her
I
skull.
Yeah,
totally missed that.
she's like, I know it was an accident, like all this stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
I don't know. Still
Yeah, and then
crazy.
they also hinted at the, or like they mentioned the fact that he's a veteran. Like he
Yeah.
hasn't been the same since he got back from Iraq, I think they said.
Yeah.
And he
Um,
was drunk, I think, at the time.
oh yeah, well he probably always drunk. Like,
Fair.
but yeah, and then yeah, he roughs up one of his girls at the house too, which was intense. But
Yeah, I don't know. It was
yeah,
such a conflicting character because it's like all this crazy shit is happening, but it's like kind of a little heartwarming, his relationship with Queen. Like the way like
Mhm.
he helps her out, and then it seems like, you know how that ring that he's missing or whatever, he's all pissed off. I
Oh
think
yeah.
she's wearing it at the end.
Oh shit,
She's
is
wearing
she?
like a big ass ring that I can only assume is from his
Oh
house.
yeah.
When
Where
he
did
yeah, when they get shot or whatever, and they hold hands, it's like a big old fucking ring on her hand.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hmm.
I took a little memento to
Yeah.
remember her uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
God, and that's so crazy that this entire time they're on the run. How long is it? Like 3 days, or they say at the end, right? It was like a nationwide manhunt for, I can't remember how long they said.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
feel like it's probably around 3 days. But just
Yeah.
going through all of that and then not being able to talk to any of your family or anything, that added this interesting layer to it.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
And then when he does talk to his dad, that scene, bro.
Yeah.
When he hangs up, I
So,
was like, this fucking guy. And then like it shows what's actually happening at his house. I'm like, damn, dude. The real
dude, I thought
dad. I don't know.
he hung up. Like I thought his dad hung up not because like the FBI was there, but because he was like, I don't want to know where you are because I don't want that. I don't want to have that knowledge. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
don't tell me where you're going.
That's what I
Because then
thought.
I'm
Yeah.
That's
gonna
what I thought.
Like it
at
seemed like a
first,
bad
too.
thing, right?
Yeah.
know. No, like a good thing. Like,
Oh,
like, because it seemed
yeah.
like his dad, like, he's like, I'm glad. For me, it was like his dad saying, I'm glad you're okay. I don't want to know where you're going because then when they come and they fucking interrogate me for all of this information about you, then I won't be lying. You know what I mean? Like if I don't know where you're going, then I
Fair.
don't know.
Yeah,
So-
I guess I guess I just took a little
But
more
we-
like he was disowning
Yeah.
him on the spot. It felt like I
No,
was like,
no,
damn.
Yeah. But we find out that he was like very much protecting him because the FBI is there at his house tapping that call.
Yeah.
And they were like, he kind of gets in trouble for hanging up on the phone before Slim
Yeah.
reveals where they're leaving.
So they were like, we're gonna arrest you for, like helping a fugitive
yeah.
and this stuff.
Oh, right.
And so now is his dad in jail because of this too? So this whole fucking family got fucked. That's kind of
dude. But again, that would like take everything back to like slavery and like the Underground Railroad, is because escaped slaves, like their families, like would be punished and tortured if one of the slaves left. So it's like adds this whole other layer of, I don't know. There's so many similarities there for me that I keep picking up on, and I'm just like, this is really cool. Like, this is really interesting to watch a modern day movie about something that would happen today, and then relating it back to that whole thing.
That is really cool.
I don't know if all these connections are valid, but
hey man, if you believe it, it's valid.
yeah. And I did not read that anywhere. Like those connections. Like I didn't find an article like, oh, here's how Queen and Slim is like the Underground Railroad.
Yeah,
I just think it is. Like I don't know.
I see it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just have like a bunch of stupid like legal questions that I don't even think anyone knows the answer to. We're just like, would they get in trouble still since they're dead? Like his parents or whatever. If they're trying to actually like arrest him, so it's like, oh, they're fucking dead now. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. I don't think
They
so.
got caught.
Probably.
I guess since they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it matters whether they're alive.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Like, here's the other thing.
Maybe
The big picture is that this is like a national, probably like an international case, like in the movie where like everyone's paying attention to it, like all eyes are on this case, and you have
Yeah.
so many people that are pro Queen and Slim that
Yeah.
you know that his dad would get the best lawyer possible.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he would get the best.
A lot
Yeah.
of civil unrest.
Right. So like
Right.
that, I don't know. I mean, again, that's digging in pretty deep, but
Yeah.
just because it's a movie, but like
Yeah, I mean,
feel
there
like-
was like protests for it and stuff. That's why I was wondering, like, I wonder if they would just get off. If they did just get arrested at the spot or whatever at the beginning of the
Yeah.
movie.
I feel like I just feel like there's no way that it could happen because
know.
like
Yeah.
he's on camera killing a police officer, and like I don't know.
It is self-defense. I mean, does it
It's
look like
self-defense,
self-defense like super obviously in the video to you guys?
I think it's implied though that they wouldn't have gotten off because, well, like, okay, so the cop kills them, nothing happened to him when he did it before,
Yeah.
so it's
Right.
like, you know,
I
don't
mean,
know.
yeah, just look at
but
like
they didn't know that, so
like look at reality. Like look what happens in these cases where white cops kill black people and just like get away with it like a lot of the times, right? And it's
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like this was the flip side, but there's no way. There's just no way. Like looking in reality, you know, maybe in a movie, if it was that kind of movie where they went the route of like, all right, it's going to be a court movie and we're going to like go to trial and it's going to be this whole thing about that, then yeah, I could see that happening in a movie, but
Yeah.
in real life, I just, you know,
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like
Yeah.
it was just weird, I guess, seeing protests within like a fucking less than a day in some random ass small town that didn't even look like it had more than like 2 fucking stores and shit. I don't know. It's just that stuff
yeah.
is weird.
So what did you think about that protest with the kid and stuff?
I don't understand what if
Man.
it was supposed to mean something or not. And I was gonna ask you guys, like, why, like, what the point of that kid killing that cop was. You know
That
what I
was
mean?
so weird. Like, and I think what made it even weirder was that the cop that. So for context, if you haven't seen the film, like, there's protests going on all over the country, and a little boy that they met earlier in the film is like all riled up. You know, he like met them and he's just like, yeah, you know, like fight the power kind of thing. And he goes to one of these protests, and this black cop confronts this little boy, and he's just like, dude, go home, man. Like, this isn't safe. Like, you just need to go home. Like, he's being really reasonable. The cop's being like, he's being the, you know, that figure that the boy probably needs to hear. Is just like, just go home, you know, it's good.
Yeah.
And the little boy just draws a gun on him, and you're just like, surely
Yeah.
he's not, like, nothing's gonna happen. Pulls the trigger, shoots the cop in the face, like kills him, and then, you know, we find out later that the boy was then killed by the other police officers. But I felt it was even more complicated because they chose to do a black cop that he killed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was like, in some ways, in the context of the film, it would have made more sense, like, for the boy to be like, you know, like, a white cop is the cause of all of this trouble, so like, fuck white cops, you know, like that was like maybe that boy's mentality. But
Yeah. But it was like this guy's betraying us as a race
so it
kind
adds
of
that
thing.
okay.
Yeah.
I see what
Yeah,
you're
it
saying.
made me think of that quote you mentioned where it's like, where she was like, I hope it's a, or he says, I hope the person that's
right.
pulling over is black, and he's like, it's not always a good thing. Like,
So it was a good thing.
I don't know. That just
Yeah.
made me think of that. I don't know what connection there could be there, but
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
such a weird thing. And then he like looked like it was an accident. He was like kind of freaking out, like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
after he did it. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
I don't know if I don't think it was an accident at all, but I think it was just one of those things where this is gonna get weird. Have you guys ever killed anyone in your dream? Like, have you ever had a dream that you killed somebody? Because
Yeah.
I have, and there's this instant feeling of like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. Like, what are you? Like, there's just this crazy ass
Sure.
paranoia thing that goes on, and like, I can't even imagine real life like what that would
Yeah.
be like. And that's probably what that little boy was going through before he died, because they, you
yeah,
know,
like thinking about like doing it, like all this stuff is such like a crazy thing in his head, and then when it actually
Yeah.
happens, he's like, oh, this is not good.
Yeah.
But during that scene, that was an interesting scene too, because during the protest, simultaneously there's a sex scene happening.
A steamy sex scene.
Steamy sex scene
Graphic
between
as all
Slim,
hell.
which I have to say that was a very well done sex scene. Like, I've seen a lot of sex scenes in movies, and this one was like good. Like it was well done. I was just like, bravo. It wasn't just none of that like, oh, we're making out and then we go under the covers and there was like lights go out. It was like, no, we're at the back of this fucking car and it's going down. Like,
Yeah.
98% of everything we see.
Homie had a big old fucking dumper. Fucker had a dump truck.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that noticed that. I was like,
I was like, damn.
Damn, Daniel.
yeah, all right.
Oh shit.
No, but I will say one of the better sex scenes that I think I've seen in
Yeah.
movies.
Do you
Not a
just like
sex
because it's
scene
like
connoisseur.
just
but-
because it's like realistic? Is that
I
why?
feel like it was realistic and it was also like interestingly done because you have the two characters who are on the run who are like fleeing all this crazy madness and they're enjoying one of their brief times of bliss where like they're connecting with each other on another level and all the while there's this like crazy civil unrest with this little boy killing a police officer. Like simultaneously they're flipping back between those two scenes. It was just, I don't know, it was interesting. It was good. I thought it was a good scene.
It felt awkward to me. I don't know. Because like I know people that totally hate sex scenes, like there's no point in seeing nudity, it's so dumb, blah blah blah. Like people like that. They only like it. I mean, it's only good if it like furthers the plot or does all this stuff, and it's like
I feel like it does.
no, I think it does too, but like I don't think it needed to go that hard. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to know what the choice was or why they made that choice.
I watched this movie with my mom, and it was just really uncomfortable.
But it's also I just also always think of the act of filming it, and it's like they have like a weird like thing over their dicks and shit. And like there's a lot of people around them filming it and lighting and all this stuff, and it's just so awkward to think about.
Yeah,
I hate it.
But that's I think that like the stakes are so high then is like it's so easy to make a sex scene look really bad, especially if they're going really into it like they did. And I think when you come out of it where it's just like that was actually pretty well done, it's like bravo. For making such an awkward thing to film, like bearable to watch and like, you know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm not saying I hate sex scenes or anything. It's just you don't see it go that far usually.
You're right, you're right.
So before I watched the movie, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a romance movie because it's fucking Valentine's Day.
That was kind of the.
And I was like, expecting like some kind of like I don't know, fucking BET movie, like some like cheesy ass romance. I mean, I kind of figured it out, and then I was just like, oh, okay, got Bonnie and Clyde. But yeah, that was where the romance was, in the car.
Dude, that's another interesting thing. I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to bring this up. Everyone starts calling them Bonnie and Clyde. They're like, oh, it's like the Black Bonnie and Clyde. But I'm like the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, no, it's not. Like they're not criminals. Like these people aren't criminals. They got into a bad situation and now they're on the run because they know if they aren't on the run, then their life is over. But like instantly in the movie, everyone's just like, oh, Bonnie and Clyde, Bonnie and Clyde. So Bonnie and Clyde were hardened fucking criminals. Like they were like bank robbers and murderers.
Okay.
Like,
I was like, I don't think I've ever seen any of that shit, so I didn't know that. But
yeah, like right. I don't know all about Bonnie and Clyde, but like I'm pretty sure they robbed banks and killed people.
Yeah,
like straight criminals, like actual criminals.
On purpose criminals.
Yeah, and like of course it's a white couple, so it's like even Bonnie and Clyde is romanticized. It's just like like you're the. Like you could even hear that today, like, oh, they're like the Bonnie and Clyde. It's just like a couple that gets into trouble. And it's like these were white murderers. Like, if you think about like a black couple, these people didn't even do anything wrong, really. And it's like, well, there's I don't know. It's an interesting like double standard, I think.
Yeah.
But
that they brought up in the movie. Yeah, I thought that was.
Alonzo says the endings were the same, so getting shot.
They don't make it out or what?
Yeah, I feel like the only thing I really know about Bonnie and Clyde is like the pictures of Bonnie and Clyde's vehicle like at their final police shootout is like
Mhm.
branded into my brain, where it's just an old car riddled with bullet holes. Like it's
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
you'll see the picture, you're like, oh yeah, you'll recognize it.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Nice.
but yeah, so that was interesting that everyone made that connection, like in the film.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah. What else? What else do we got? I'm really curious to hear what Jay would have said about this one.
Hmm.
He's probably in the chat, but I don't know if he even watched it. He's had a busy week, but
Hmm.
yeah. Oh, okay. So another thing I wanted to touch on was the music. Dude, I fucking love the music. Like
That's good.
I was getting down to it. They did a good job at there was like blues, there was jazz, there was hip hop, there was Christian, like that whole Christian music thing. They had a lot in there. And during oh man, I'm trying to think what scene it was. I don't know if it was the sex scene or there was a certain scene where they had like a remember we talked about this in Moonlight where it was like an orchestral rendition of a hip hop song.
Yeah.
That was in there too. Like that was kind of thrown in there too. And I was like, oh shit, that's like Moonlight. And then also Get Out. Or no, not Get
Right.
Out, Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I don't know. The music really hit it for me. Dude, fucking what's that song called? Still Tippin' by Mike Jones.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's like the mid-aughts rap music that throws me
Sipping
back.
on fofos. Yeah.
Dude, that came on and I was just like, yeah, like reminded me of being like 12 years old in my brother's passenger seat, like driving somewhere. And he bumping that shit with the bass all blasting in the back. Like I was like, fuck, I forgot about this song.
That's cool.
And then I listened to that song a lot. Like the past couple days, I'm like, fuck yeah. So yeah, the music did it for me. I was just like,
Yeah.
this is also a really good soundtrack.
Yeah, it was good. I guess it was like small, but like I liked when it would be blasting like normal music in a movie would, and then like it shows them pulling up to the house, and then it kind of blends into being like the music that's on the radio, and it's like that's so cool. I love shit like that.
Yeah, that's always good. Yeah, a lot of movies do that, but it's always just so organic when it happens.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you. But so like another thing is, I thought this movie was genuinely pretty funny too. Like the comedy in it, I think was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially fucking guy they hit with the truck. That's his knees. The conversation he has with his son, which like he says something about his hose or something, and his son's like, "Oh, mom never said that." He's like, "That's not the hoe I'm talking about." He says something about like,
he's like, you remind me of me and my bitch. That's what he tells. That's what he tells Slim.
"Oh yeah."
He's like,
He's
don't
like-
call my mama a bitch. He's like, no.
I think she's my only bitch or something.
Dude, like so
I
it
was
was
talking
like
about you and mama. Yeah.
that was so fucking funny.
Terrible.
He has to go drop him off at the hospital. But again, it's just like everything is just going wrong. They just like run this guy over. They fucking pick up the sheriff.
Dude, I thought it was so funny. All the lengths they go to, shaving their heads and changing their appearance, and everyone recognizes them like immediately. I just thought it was funny every time. It's just like, oh yeah.
I feel
know
like
you
it's.
are. I don't know.
But it's also like that cliche where so she's like the uptight lawyer, and then all of a sudden she's like wearing the short, sexy skirt. She's all free spirited now.
Well, because she
hanging
has
out, hanging out the side of the, hanging out the side of the car.
Yeah.
Dude, they do so many stupid fucking things together in this movie. I thought he was gonna do it while he was driving. I was like, I'm ready for it. I was like, they've already done so many dumbass things. Like,
God damn it. So I watched the movie with Samantha, and when they did the like sitting out of the car window, she's like, "Oh God, Hereditary." I was like, "Don't."
Yeah. I thought of that immediately. It's very
It's
upset.
in my head.
Yeah.
God, could you imagine if that's how it ended? It's just like.
And see, for me, like whenever they were driving, I'm all fucked up from whiplash because like it was like a lot of
Oh,
like, and they
looking
were
out
driving. I was
the-
like, they're gonna get fucking T-boned or like by something or
Yes,
like get stuck
especially
somewhere.
at the very end where that homie's driving them, like smoking the joint, and he's like passing it behind them, and like he's like looking back for 30 seconds, like,
It's just,
just like
what's up, guys? Just
you guys want to hit them?
having a conversation.
Just like they're dead. They're gonna fucking get T-boned. But instantly, like when they showed that guy, I was like, there's a vibe. There was a vibe about him. I was like, I don't know if I trust him. Like, did you guys trust him right away? I was like,
I mean,
trying.
that's what's funny is the movie tries to like make you trust him no matter what, because it's like every other black guy, every other black person is helping them. Like, why wouldn't this guy? You know? So I didn't really think that much about it. I don't know.
Not a single person like crossed them like that they met really.
Yeah.
Not even the sheriff. Even the sheriff that picked him up seemed to be like, okay, you know,
Do
like
what you gotta
not-
do.
Because that
I'll
was,
get in
and
this
that was
trunk.
also like very early on in the development of the story, like in the film, but the development of the story of their crime, where like the sheriff didn't know about them, like he didn't know that a police officer had been killed,
Yeah.
and so he was just like, hey guys, like I don't know what happened. I'm sure it's. I mean, he's trying to save his own life,
Yeah.
obviously, but he didn't know either.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn, I'm so pissed that like I felt a vibe about that guy at the end. I was like, I don't know, like, but
Listen, I didn't even like realize until
yeah,
until he's counting the money. I was like, oh fuck. Like until that, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
I didn't. Again, once all the cops show up and stuff, I was like, oh, like maybe they just somehow, I don't know, like
Yeah.
Did
I don't
you
know.
guys notice the terribly CGI'd helicopter that was just
No.
like
Was
not
it just
floating? It was like not like hovering. It was just like
Oh,
picture. Like I was like, this is bad.
oh, I didn't notice
That's
it.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
Dude, yeah, because
budget, but
the whole time I was thinking, I was just like, dude, is the pilot just in the back of that
That's
plane?
what I was thinking. And they
In the
shoot, they
plane.
blast the shit out of them. I'm like, is he
Light
okay? Is the
Yeah,
pilot okay?
like, you'd think the pilot would be like, I'm gonna
Can I like get out of the way first?
out of
yeah.
here. But the pilot would be, um,
An
what's
accomplice.
the term? Yeah, an accomplice. Like he would
Mhm.
fuck too. So, but there probably wasn't even a pilot, which didn't make
I mean,
sense. Okay,
the plane was on and then it turned off, so I think there was.
Yeah.
yeah.
Unless he was like, we're in on this. Him and that other
Oh,
dude. You
right,
know?
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Like they
maybe
told the
they-
cops, I'm gonna pretend like I'm gonna take him in this plane.
Yeah, but we're not gonna take him.
So they
And
said,
so that guy was Flea's homie.
No,
yeah.
he was
The
friends
grill?
with Flea's homie, I thought.
So he was a friend of a friend of a friend. Who
Yeah,
are friends.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, because the way that what's the character's name? Flea's character? Shepherd, right? I think it's
Not sure. Yeah.
that's his last name. So like Shepard says, I have a friend who has a plane who can get you to Cuba. But then they leave and they meet that guy who I guess is the friend of the friend.
Yeah, because he calls the guy with the plane, right?
Because yeah, Slim is just like, oh, like where's your plane? And he's just like, I don't have a plane. He's like, but I know somebody who does. And then that was another thing that bothered me was that he calls the pilot and he's just like, hey, like I have them here, like do you want to pick them, or like do you want to like fly them out, and he's just like, oh, we can't do it till tomorrow. Okay, hangs up. And then Slim's just like, no, you need to do it today. And he's just like, okay, calls him. And then the pilot's like, okay, yeah, today works. Like, I guess I'll just this episode of Frasier later. Like, what the fuck is he doing?
Dude, yeah.
Like,
The
yeah.
whole part, that whole thing with the cops being there at that time, it's like, did they do that on purpose to make them want to go now or something? I don't know. It's just weird.
Now that makes more sense because maybe it was just like the pilot was just like, I don't know if we can get the police officers there on time or something. Like, I
Yeah.
don't- maybe, because it was rigged, it was
Yeah.
a setup. So maybe that's what that was. But it was weird that they just called him back and they're like, okay, yeah, I guess today works.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the ending scene, I mean, let's just go through it. Like, fuck, dude. I'm glad it ended the way it did, but to take them and then the audience on this giant journey, and they're like right there at the finish line, literally
Yeah.
at the plane on the landing strip, and they're just like about to fucking be free. And then the fucking cops roll up, and it's just like, no.
Dude, yeah, because like that whole drive over there, they're chilling, like everything's good, and you're like, oh shit, are they actually gonna fucking make it? Like they've made it this far, like everyone's helping them out. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
once the cops show up, I'm like, fuck, man.
Yeah, I'm like,
Damn it.
they can still jump in the plane, and the plane can like dodge around. There's still hope, damn it.
Yeah, because they I remember them talking about, I don't know if it was like about them having kids or just talking about kids in general or something, like their legacy, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, they had some pretty bare ass sex. Maybe it's gonna be like I don't know. I was like, if it does work out, it's gonna be like a flash forward. They have a kid in fucking Cuba or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and then it just all ended so suddenly. I was like, oh shit, never mind.
Yeah. Dude, that final standoff scene, the police officer with the fucking megaphone was pissing me the fuck off. It's like, I'm not gonna say this again. Get on the floor, and then he proceeds to say, "I'm not gonna say this again" 30 times.
They're
Yeah.
literally just
And-
standing there. That guy's freaking the fuck out.
Dude,
Well,
and
that
they-
one chick just accidentally shoots Queen. She's
I
just
know.
Like, she was like, "Oh, this is loaded." Like, her face is like so fucking stupid. They're like, "Hold your fire." She's like, "Oh damn."
I'm like,
What?
hey, that
I
was
feel
amazing.
like that onward was too cheesy, and I didn't like it. And then like him picking her up and like I don't know, it was just like
I don't know. There was a
okay,
thing. There was a
sure.
thing about it where, like, what did she say? She's like, "Never let go of my hand" or something, and then he's like, "I won't."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But also, it was, I don't know, man.
like those lines were also a little cheesy.
Yeah. Were you crying when she's
Yeah, they
like,
were.
"I am your legacy," or what the fuck? What did
Yeah.
she say?
Because
Or what
like, he says earlier on in the film, like, that he doesn't want to be like this crazy famous person. Like, he doesn't want any of that. He's like, as long as like the woman I'm with thinks highly of me, like that, she's my legacy, kind of thing.
Yeah,
He said something to that effect, and I was like, that's good writing. Like, that's cool. And then kind of the opposite happens, where she dies, and then he does, like, their legacy becomes this nationwide phenomenon, like, where, you know, there's posters of them everywhere, and, you know, there's just like this power couple.
dude, that shirt that little kid's wearing, pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, we have to talk about the fucking cover for this, and then the picture they take by the car.
So cool.
Those are really good pictures. Like, this is like a really good fucking cover
Yeah.
for a movie, I think. But yeah, I mean, so he picks her up after she dies, and just keeps walking forward, like as if he's walking into the ocean. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, yeah, bro, this is it.
Yeah.
And they kill him too, and then they have the funeral, and then everyone's
Yeah.
wearing shirts and stuff. And dude, how fucking baller is Uncle Earl at the funeral?
Dude, that,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that shit was cool. He's like trying to act all hard, just like, oh, I'm
Still
not gonna cry.
pimping.
Still pimping, yeah. Dude, but at the end, I don't know. I was emotional. I was just like, I didn't cry, but I was just like, man, this is really good. Like, I'm glad that they chose to do it this way. I think it was like the best way to end it. Because I don't know, if they like escaped to Cuba, it would have been like, okay, cool. Like, now what? Like, we just don't
Yeah.
care anymore. But it was just like they wrapped it up, and there was a conclusion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and they have their legacies and shit that they were talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That about wraps us up for the movie. You guys got anything else to add?
Just one
Was there?
fun fact: Fumblers in inductee, I guess. Shit,
Oh.
hold on. What's her name? Oh, I don't know her name. My internet's not open. The Flea's wife.
Oh, dude, I recognized her. Chloe Savini?
Do you guys know what she's in that we've done?
She looks so familiar, and I was trying to put it together. What is she in?
Kids. She is
No.
the girl that gets pregnant or whatever.
Oh really?
Like the main girl, blonde girl, yeah.
Holy shit, dude. I was trying to think where I recognized
Wait, gets pregnant or gets AIDS?
Oh, sorry, it's AIDS. I don't remember that movie.
Oh, sorry, it's AIDS.
You're
My
right.
bad, it's AIDS.
I haven't
'Cause
thought
was,
about
like,
that movie in a long
pregnant.
time.
I was like,
Dude,
Okay, yeah.
1895. That was her first ever film. She's Jenny in Kids.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Okay, that because I remember looking up her filmography and everything else. I was like, I haven't seen any of this. Why does she look familiar?
Yeah.
Wow,
Dang, Fumblers, huh?
interesting.
Pretty
That's a
random
deep one.
ass one, yeah.
Dude, her and Flea, that couple, the Fumbler couple.
Dude, shout out to Flea. So random, but he was good. He was
Yeah,
really good.
he's
Yeah.
great. He was great. Shout out
He,
to Flea.
his acting wasn't bad. It's like
Oh yeah, he's good.
pretty
And like he
alright.
plays like very different roles. Like in Baby Driver, he's like completely fucking different than this like retired like veteran, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we ready to jump into ratings?
I just have one more thing that I don't know if
What's
it's not
up?
much of a discussion point. I was just thought it was weird. A weird choice. It happened a few times where there would be dialogue happening, but their faces were like still.
Dude, okay, this
Oh,
was
yeah.
the
I was
other
like, what does
thing
this mean?
this was the other thing because I said earlier in this episode there was some similarities between this and Moonlight. So there was that where there was the whole music thing where it was like the orchestra, like hip hop kind of thing, and then there was their mouths moving their mouths not moving while they were talking. That happened in
Yeah.
Moonlight too, a few times. I don't know if you caught that, but
I don't remember because the first time it happens in this movie, I was like,
it was
they
very
reshoot
obvious.
this? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
It was more
Yeah.
obvious in this movie, but it did happen in Moonlight as well.
Yeah.
And there was another. Remember we talked about the camera being mounted on the
Yeah,
car.
I wrote that down too.
That-
Yeah.
That happened too. I was just like, there was a lot of shit that was very similar between
I
this.
like the shot with the car opening and then closing.
Door. Yeah.
Yeah. This is cool.
So-
I don't know. I thought it was kind of after that. I thought it was kind of cool where it would either be like nothing on the screen or at the beginning, like it's showing like the credits with the black screen, just like directed by blah 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 blah, and like there was just dialogue happening over it.
Mhm.
I don't know. It felt cool. I don't know. I felt like they're like not wasting any time. We're giving you info while giving you other info. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting, unique choice that I liked.
Cool. All right. So who wants to go first on this one? Should we make James go first because he missed last episode?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll go first. My
Okay.
freaking eyes like messed up right now. Yeah, so overall, I felt like the movie could have just used a little bit more cohesiveness, just to trim some stuff and like those voiceover things. Do you feel like they were pasted on after, or
Probably.
do you
feel
think
like
it
it feels
was
like it-
stylistic?
Artistic choice because
Yeah.
I feel like
Okay.
I've seen movies do that. So
I feel like it
'Cause
could have
that's-
been an afterthought, but they did it well,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really feel like it.
Yeah, I like that. But I like some of the camera work was pretty cool. I love the freaking door camera. That was cool. But yeah, subtext is really important in this movie, and I think it's like the driving factor of why they're sort of acting irrationally, you know. I think most of us probably wouldn't have gone to those lengths, you know, because we're not black, right? So very interesting. Interesting to see this kind of story through the perspective of that.
yeah.
But yeah, just kind of ran a little bit too long for me. Like I said, remind me of freaking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Damn it.
But like the difference, like with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's like a timepiece. So like you get to see like old timey cars, this and that. This is just like,
I
okay.
thought you were gonna say feet. is the difference.
Well, yeah, a lot of feet. Um, but yeah, like I just felt they could have trimmed it. Um, maybe put some of those subplots together. Maybe like when their car broke down, they could have went to the club and not have them
Oh,
two
Oh,
separate,
yeah.
yeah.
you know, have that be one entire scene rather than two entire separate scenes.
More
Like
efficient problems.
yeah, just more efficient. Just I don't know, I just felt like it could have been
I like
just a
that.
little cleaner. I think if they thought about it, I think it could have worked a lot better. But overall, not terrible. I don't know how I really felt about the kid killing the cop. Like that
Yeah.
just felt like so left field, but like I don't know. I guess he kind of alludes to it. He's like, "Oh, I want my mark on the world too." And like he's kind of telling them that when they go to like the lake or whatever they go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe that's just like a testament to like how brokenhearted some blacks in America feel. That just,
Yeah.
there's no way to right the wrong without like
Yeah.
retaliating in such a way.
I feel like it was just a way to kind of show like how high tensions were,
Yeah,
and like we can
yeah,
all relate to that today.
Yeah.
yeah. And this movie's extremely relevant. It probably
Yeah.
will be relevant forever. Hopefully, it's not.
Not, yeah,
Hopefully, it's not.
yeah.
But yeah. I think just trim off some of the fat, and the banter is good. The music's good. Acting's pretty good. 7.
Okay.
Solid.
Well, it's 7
Swimming.
out of James.
Oh,
You
my
wanna go
eye is
next,
so
Aaron?
messed up.
Sure.
All right, Aaron, take it away.
I think it's, yeah, I agree with James. It ran a little long.
Mm-hmm.
They could have cut some stuff. I don't know. Like it was thinking of or like watching it. Like you're talking about the gas station Glock kid.
Yeah.
Like in the moment, it was entertaining, but I'm like, this is so pointless. It's just like it doesn't need to be here. Even though I kind of enjoyed stuff like that in the moment or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I agree. It could have been a little more cohesive. But I really liked the pacing of this movie, dude. I was like, we were talking earlier when I looked halfway and there was still an hour plus left, and I was like, fuck, dude. Like, what else could they do? And then after that, I forgot about the runtime, bro. It just sucked me back in because it just doesn't stop, man.
Yeah.
And I think that was right before they got to Uncle
Uncle
Earl's house, which was one of the best parts of the movie. I don't know. That shit was funny. So yeah, I don't know. I liked the acting. I liked the way the movie like looked and felt and stuff. I don't know. I liked the like outside perspective that they kept trying to show, like with the newspapers and the TV, like the news and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like maybe they could have done a little more to make it seem more important. It doesn't. I don't know. It just felt kind of
It
weird.
felt more isolated or kind of.
Yeah, like they drove like overnight somewhere, and like it felt like the next day or something, and there was already like a newspaper and shit. It's just like holy fuck. Like I don't know. It just felt weird. The whole like world around it felt kind of rushed and not like there was much else out there. But
I see.
I feel like if they took a couple minutes to like flesh that out a little bit, it would have felt more important, like to the country, like the way they made it seem it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I had a lot of fun watching it, so don't have too many bad things to say about it. But it's, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I feel like your theory about the Underground Railroad was really good and pretty fucking solid, dude. It's good. It's good recognition of that. That bumped it up a little bit, I think. Like thinking about it, I'm like, all right, that's cool. So a little higher in the 7s. I'll say 7.8 is what I'll give it.
7.8. Cool. All right. So 7 out of James, 7.8 out of Taryn. All right, I'll take it away. So, yeah, I don't know. This movie is, again, to touch on what Taryn was saying about the pacing. I don't know. I feel like it picks up and it just doesn't stop. Like it just keeps going. There wasn't. I didn't look at the runtime at all while I was watching this. Granted, I was watching this with someone else, so I think that helps with just when you're watching a movie alone. There's that
Yeah,
like
sitting on my computer, I just move my mouse and see it. Yeah.
yeah, that kind of helped. But I was pretty drawn in the whole time. I think like just notable scenes that really stood out to me was the first scene where they go dancing. There's just a lot of really cool camera work that's in there. I think the lighting in that whole scene is done really well. Just that whole like red,
Mm-hmm.
ominous type of feel that it has, but also it's like red and kind of scary, but it's also like warm because it's just like they're safe, right?
Yeah.
And then it cuts over to Queen and she's standing against that brick wall and there's that green light that's shining on her. I don't know, they just did a lot of like cool like camera decisions, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Lighting in that scene specifically. Another really cool scene was the sex scene, like how it was drawn together with this crazy ass protest that was going on. And I think just the relationship between those two scenes and like how they were so opposite from one another but played together was really cool. The music, really enjoyed it. I feel like they took a lot of like what we think of when we think of like black culture and black music. Like I feel like they hit the nail on the head on every regard. It was like that Christian kind of the Christian music, and then it was blues, it had jazz, it had hip hop. Like it just kind of hit every single one, and then it even throws some like orchestral stuff in there. That was really, really good. But again, for me, what really drove this home and like why I've been thinking about this movie, I watched it probably about 4 days ago, and I've been thinking about it a lot. And it's just, I always keep going back to that whole Underground Railroad kind of theory that I have, or like connection that I made, and just other things start to sink in, like when they're hiding under the bed at Shepard's house. Like there's just like these really cool shots of them like not really seeing a lot of light of day, and they're just laying perfectly, perpendicular, like or parallel rather to the floor, and it's just, it reminded me of scenes that you would see of like slaves being shipped over to America, like on the like those ships, like just them that they were just chained up together in these tight ass spaces. I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot there. There's just the relationships that they have with the people that they meet. Um, you know, I don't know. It was just well done, and it made me think a lot about. I mean, it made me research like more about the Underground Railroad stuff, and like that's cool. Like that's art, and that's one of the reasons that we wanted to celebrate Black History Month is like, let's focus on Black culture. Let's focus on these movies, and like it's working for me. I'm like learning more about it, and it's, I don't know. It's really cool. I really like it. I drew a lot of parallels with this movie and Moonlight, and I think I enjoyed this movie more than I did Moonlight, but that doesn't necessarily mean that like I think as a whole collective it's a better movie.
Sure.
Um, I think there was some bad writing in this. Like there was some scenes where it was just like, why does this need to be in here? They probably could have trimmed the fat a little bit. But I think just for the overall message and just for how the story was told and like what I got from the movie, I can't rate it lower than I rated Moonlight. Like there's just no way. So I'm going way up above where you guys are at, and I'm also, for my Moonlight rating, I'm also with this one at an 8.7 out of 10.
Nice.
So it was good. It was good, and it made me think a lot, and I would watch it,
Nice.
and I would recommend it for sure.
Nice.
So an 8.7. Let's see, what does that bring us to? Brings us right at Terrence score, 7.8, 7.83. So
Damn.
cool. All right. Well, we
Sweet.
rated this a 7.8 out of 10. We'd love to know what you guys think. Hit us up on any of our socials. Find all of those at filmfumblers.com. be sure you're following our Instagram. That's where you're going to find out mostly where we're going to be doing our next movie. Our next movie this month is going to be Do the Right Thing, 1989. So tune in. That's going to be released on Saturday, or it's going to be recorded on Saturday, the 20th of February. But yeah, until then, see you guys next time. Cheers,
Happy
everyone.
Valentine's Day.
Cheers.
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 Kiss your mothers.